Hi everyone, and welcome to another Tribe Forex Power Hour. I'm here with Nino, a ProFX trader. Today is April 22nd, 2014, and we're going to do here what we've done for years, which is an analysis of the markets and evaluation of our strategies, which are based upon the 5 p.m. Eastern Time close of our daily bars and our 4-hour bars. Thereafter, we're going to have a brief assessment of our previous trade calls, and so let's go ahead and take a look at how this works and where we go from here. So basically our formula for success is that about 5 p.m. Eastern Time we do our market analysis to determine our bias. Now what is the bias? Our bias is the probability that price will either rise or fall on a particular currency pair. So if we believe price will rise, we have a buy bias. If we believe price will drop, we have a sell bias. Now what do we do with that bias once we have it? Well, there are two ways that we execute trades. Number one, we have a set and forget it trade. And that's the easiest way to do it. Basically, after you make your assessment, you set your entry, your stop loss, and your take profit, and you don't look at it again until the next day. Two, you can day trade in the direction of our bias using pods for bigger profits. Now, if you don't know how to really day trade and how to use the bias and the pods, number one, you can go to tribeforex.com where you can take a look at our trading course that we have there. Also, you can talk to a pro Forex trader. Nino, are you here with me?
Good day, Marcello. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. So I heard that you guys had a pretty decent session considering the market conditions yesterday. How'd it go?
It went okay. We didn't take in too many positions, but I would always say a good day in the market for me is whenever you capture pips, turn it into long-term profit, and you don't give it back to the market. So some days if you don't get in the market, don't really get any good positions according to our trading strategies here at Tribe Forex, then that's also a good day. I was telling our guys in the room today that not every day means that you have to be in the market, or not every currency pair that you feel is trading well is going to trade well on a particular day. So some days on the sideline on certain currency pair can be just as great as making 50 pips to 100 pips move. Because on the sideline, you're not losing anything.
Good
Don't
point.
force the trade. Let the trade come to you.
Good said. Well said.
Tell everyone.
Absolutely, and that's coming from a veteran trader who's been doing this for a while. Guys, this is excellent information, excellent wisdom there. Join him in the trade room Tuesdays and Thursdays, 1 to 3 a.m. Eastern Time, and 8 to 10 a.m. Eastern Time as well. That will absolutely blow your mind. You can ask him any questions that you have, and you can also make money with our pro trader Nino here. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the charts, guys. Let's make this quick, if you don't mind. So I'm going to start with the euro dollar. All right, so yesterday you'll remember that I had a sell bias on the euro, and I do have an overall bias for the euro as a sell. So you got to look for your possibilities for a sell on the euro, and that's precisely what we did. You'll notice that price did go up. We hit the 38.20 area. 38.20 has been an area of support and resistance. If you look across here, dating back to last year, 2013, October, we've got multiple touches right here at in that 38.20 area, and so you can see that price really bounced off that area and headed down. If you look at the lower time frames, there was an opportunity there for you to get in. It's not that easy. You can see that there weren't really reversal candles, hammers, railroad tracks, any of those formations that we're used to seeing. And as a result, guys, you know, there just wasn't a ton of really great trading there. But you can see that as price really interacted with that 38.20 area, really threw some wicks there at the top. It really gave us an opportunity. You could have dropped, watch price drop back down, and really get back down, really almost down to this trend line at the lower side of it that we placed, and it comes from the daily chart. Okay? So this is essentially the trend line that we have now drawn on the daily. Actually, it was on the 4-hour that we drew this trend line. And here it goes. Swing low to swing low, looking for 2 points on each side. And so I'm going to be watching for this swing low to be hit. And I'm also looking for, if you look, we're just in consolidation, day after day after day of consolidation. You guys have to excuse me. I'm actually out by my pool today. I decided that I was going to do it outside, not doing it in my office. I do that from time to time, and today's one of those days. So if you hear birds tweeting or anything, I live in Florida, and you're just going to have to deal with it. So here we we're at 1.3820. I think we have an opportunity to get back there potentially, or at least to the 50 EMA at 138.12. Inevitably, I think that we could have more play inside of here until we get into the apex. Looking at this 4 hour, just because we don't have a tremendous amount of movement, we could get price movement back up to 38.40 in that vicinity. And I think, like I said before, even if we do get price to move up, if price does move back up to those areas, I think inevitably we're going to see a drop in price because of where we are in the market. We really hit the upper edge here of our trend line, which is a long-standing yearly trend line here. And we hit that on March 9th, and you can see that price did go down, and we had a big move back up. And I think inevitably it's going to want to drop back down to, at least the 1.3200 area, 1.3150. So that's what we're waiting for that first break of the apex, and then a push down here on the euro dollar. And so I do think that today, actually, we could see price, let's see, really play off of yeah, I think we're going to get more consolidation. So I see price going up to 138.20 in that vicinity again, and really getting more play. So I'm going to call a consolidation play here on the euro dollar for today until we get more news off the euro. All right, so on the dollar Swiss, you can see here, guys, that we actually had a doji that was formed on the day. You see price move up, hit the 50 MA, and then now we've got this doji. Okay, so it shows market hesitation. Now we could see price break up through the high, but generally when we see this, it's actually very much so reminding us of a evening star pattern. So what we're going to look for is we can see that price can easily come down from 88.50 and really give us a sell. So I'm actually going to call for a sell here just because we're in consolidation over the last few days. We're at the upper edge of that. I think the 50 MA is going to be a catalyst for it to be able to sell off from that point at 88.50 on the dollar Swiss, and may come down to back down to lower edge areas there. There's not a tremendous amount of range there, not a tremendous amount of money to be made just yet until we get new information in the market. So we're going to wait for it. All right, so that's it on the dollar Swiss. Pound dollar, let's take a look. I actually did not set up my pound dollar, not like me. All right, so the pound dollar, you really got to come from the upper time frame. And so I'm looking at here on the monthly chart. And right about 16800 to 16850 was our area of support and resistance. And we have had tremendous play there. And we actually have price move above the 80 EMA, above the Bollinger. I'm sorry, the 200 EMA, the 80 Bollinger band. So we're kind of waiting here for some kind of real movement in the market. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go swing high to swing high. I'm sorry, swing low. Swing low to swing low here. And you can see what price really wants to do here if we were to draw a pennant where we are. You can see the price movement going back and forth, and we're back here at these areas. Price naturally will want to come back down into this channel, specifically we don't have a tremendous amount of information. It's not just going to hang out up here at 168. It's going to want to come back down and find itself in the 15500 area over the long haul. So looking at the weekly, I can see the very same thing. I'm going to look for a price to bounce down off of that area. And on the daily, we're kind of hanging out there. Now, until price closes above this area on the weekly, I'm not going to be considering that this pound dollar is going to move above it. Breakouts happen 10% of the time in the market. Okay, trends happen 20% of the time. 70% of the time we're in consolidation. Consider that. Considering those numbers, the pound dollar is more likely than not going to drop. It's going to come down. So we've got to look for that. Be careful, be mindful of it. Right now we're in consolidation. We're at the top of the consolidation channel, and for that reason I'm going to call a sell on the pound dollar. All right, you can see these bars consolidating. I'm going to be looking for a sell. So I can see price moving up to the Bollinger high here and really dropping on the pound dollar. Okay? All right, so our dollar CAD monthly, we really had a nice bounce right off of an area that was once resistance and is now support. You can see that we have multiple bars that touch that, and we had a bounce off of 1.80840 on the dollar CAD. And if I go down from the monthly chart down to the weekly chart, you can see the very same thing. You can see on the weekly that we had a reversal candle form that was a doji reversal, and then we had price movement up. Okay, so if I go down to the dollar CAD daily, what I'm seeing here is that we have a consolidation, back and forth movement here. Not an awful lot to tell in this consolidation since it's so tight. But we're at the upper edge of that consolidation. We could see price come back down below the 50 MA for a second or test the 50 MA. There's not a tremendous amount of range. Why do I say that? Well, basically the high is at 1.1041 and the low is at 1.0999. That's 42 pips of a potential movement. It's not a tremendous amount of movement here on the dollar CAD. Not my favorite pair. This is not what I'm going to be trading come tomorrow. Okay, for that reason. Now looking at the euro yen, same thing. We're at the upper end of our range here. Man, if we get price to drop off of this, you get one position and you get to hold off of that position, 141.62, and price actually drops even down to 134, or even at these other areas of support and resistance. For instance, the 800 EMA, which is at 131, the Bollinger Midband at 127, the 200 EMA at 123.50. or the lower Bollinger, or even this trend line here at the bottom, you're going to be in a tremendous amount of profit just sitting there holding on to this. Now, can price break out and move to the upside? Absolutely it can. But if you're mindful of what's happening here, you can absolutely take an opportunity as it presents itself. Be mindful of it, because the market's most likely going to throw big movement to the upside to shake you off and then really slam down and really start moving that euro yen back down into the channel. Okay, so if I look at the monthly again, this is what I'm going to be looking at. Railroad tracks formation perfectly on the trend line, followed by 2 days of consolidation movement. Okay, and that's where we're at right now. And you can see that we're in consolidation here on the daily, so it's not an awful lot going on at all. So if I could, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually draw a smaller area, a smaller pennant, so we can get a better key in really to what price is doing. And so, if you do it this way, looking at the daily chart, we could see price move up to 142.27, so about 60 pips up. So look at that on the euro yen potentially, because we are above the 50 MA, above the Bollinger Midband, and also above our trend line as well. We could see price move up to 142.20 to 142.27. I'm actually going to call buy on this euro yen for the time being, just looking at what we have now with the pennant on the daily. All right. All right, my pound yen monthly looks like it wants to break out. It's just sitting right here on the line. We just kind of talked about that a little bit. And it is quite above it weekly on the weekly chart. But I do see that price could easily come back down into the channel. And so I'm going to wait for it, because if I look at this, if you look at this here, there's a smaller pennant that's been formed here. And look at this, guys. Now, does price make sense now that I've drawn this line here? I think so. I think price makes more sense. Definitely makes more sense to me. So I can see how price can really begin to pull off of this pound yen and really move to the lower side, to the low side. I think we're going to pull off of the 172.73 area, and we can really see price drop off of this pound yen. So let's see. I called a buy potentially. You know what, guys? Actually, on this euro yen even, we're in consolidation here, and we're at the top of the consolidation range. Price could come up to 142.29 from where we are, or it could simply drop back down to the 50 MA, which would not surprise me at all, because the last 5 bars are inside of each other. This is quite a bit of consolidation. Quite a bit of consolidation there. Okay. Quite a bit of consolidation. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to believe that just based off the last 5 bars, I think that price can absolutely come down, touch this 50 MA at 141.12 before it does anything else. So I'm going to actually do that. I'm going to call consolidation on this euro yen. And on the pound yen, I'm going to look for a sell. And on the dollar yen, we're at the Bollinger Midband. I'm going to look for a price to hit 102.75, which is only 15 pips away. And then I'm going to look for it to sell off. But look, guys, it's not a tremendous amount of range. We've got the low at 102.40 and the high at 102.71. 31 pips, not a tremendous amount of range. We're looking for a breakout. We've got to get a breakout soon so that we can actually get some more movement out of price. But right now we don't have it. So for that reason, I'm going to be looking for consolidation. With the upper side of these last 3 or 4 bars on the dollar yen, we're going to look for price to come down to the 50 EMA. That's it. It's not a tremendous amount of range, so if you don't want to play it, don't play it. Small money. All right, Aussie dollar. My Aussie dollar, that's always an interesting one. If you look at the monthly chart, we do have a nice pennant that's formed here. Very, I would dare say that it's very developed, if you will. We could see price continue to move up on the dollar yen monthly. Okay, over the long haul. We have a smaller pennant. It's not quite formed here actually on the weekly, because we've got to have one more of these bars to be able to say that that's been formed. So I'm going to wait on that. We do have what seems to be a consolidation forming on the Aussie dollar, and we are in the middle of it, so there's no call there from the weekly chart. The daily, same exact thing. We've got consolidation movement here going on, and then we're going to look for some kind of movement here. I don't really know what to call here on this dollar yen, to be honest with you. On this Aussie dollar, I apologize. You know, I think that, yeah, I don't have a call on the dollar yet, on the Aussie dollar. And this New Zealand dollar. Now, the New Zealand dollar is interesting. It does look like it's poised for a buy until we get price to drop below this reversal candle or this trend line here. Trend line's at 85.68. So if it's going with the last 4 or 5 weekly bars, we're going to be looking for price to really bounce off of this 85.38 area and move back up to 86.78. And why are we looking for that? Because we're in consolidation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars in consolidation there. Looking at the daily, that would be in line. We could actually see this New Zealand continue to move up. Keeping that in consideration on the daily, because we're bouncing off the trend line here, and so we're going to look for price to go up here. So I did call a buy on the New Zealand dollar for the day as far as the bias is concerned. All right, and so that pretty much wraps it up. I hope that all makes sense to you. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's what we've got. Let's see, take a look again. All right, so I've got a buy up to 38.20 or so, or maybe even up to 138.48 here on the euro dollar. I've got a dollar Swiss sell potentially. I've got a pound dollar consolidation. It's at the upper end of the consolidation play there. So right where it is, it looks like more like a sell. Consolidation on the dollar CAD, euro yen. We've got consolidation as well. Looking for some play off of that. Pound yen, I'm looking for a sell on the pound yen. Dollar yen, looking for a sell on the dollar yen. Aussie dollar, I don't know. We're not going to call it. In New Zealand, looks like it may go up from where it is. Actually, it's in consolidation in different areas. 1, 2, 3, 4. This day may be a sell, bounce off this area, and then may move back up. So consolidation on the daily is different from the consolidation that we're seeing even on the weekly. Interesting. All right, so that's going to be an interesting play. The ones that I think that the ones that are most likely to go, that you can go for today, I think the dollar Swiss looks like a sell, and that looks like a decent sell. I think the pound yen looks like a sell. We're right at that area of support and resistance that's very strong at 172.73. We have multiple touches, 2, 3 touches on the daily, 4 touches. So I'm going to be looking for a sell-off of 172.77 on the pound yen. I like that one. So take a look at that, guys, see if it makes sense for you. If it does, take the trade. And with that, guys, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for another edition of the Tribe Forex Power Hour. All the best. Bye-bye. Thanks, Nino. Bye-bye.
You're welcome.